pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the mission statement?
With community involvement, we will empower learners to become contributing members of our changing world.
I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion by Freed,
I'll second that.
second by Mullins. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, roll call. Angie Anderson.
Here.
Brian Freed.
Here.
Patty Brown.
Here.
Ray Mullins.
Here.
Jody Thomas.
Here. Okay. Okay, welcome visitors section. So this time is set aside to recognize the media. Thank you, media, for being here. KCG, we really appreciate you guys being able to come. And we appreciate honest and true and fair reporting in accordance to the journalism ethics. And welcome visitors. This time is set aside for public comment. Just a reminder, the board cannot discuss any item not on the agenda. A person wishing to speak needs to be signed in with board secretary, then recognized by board president. They will be given 5 minutes to speak, dependent on numbers of people signed up. Only individuals recognized will be allowed to speak. Defamatory comments may be subject to legal action. This process follows District Policy 213. The board does their best to respect everyone's time and run an orderly meeting by following Robert's Rules of Orders, which means the board will listen but will not ask or answer questions. I have Jocelyn Riggert, and we will do 4 minutes.
So I just wanted to take a minute to remind us that even though this has been kind of divisive for our community, it doesn't have to be. I think what unites us is a lot bigger than anything that might divide us. Essentially, we all want the same things. We all want our schools to be safe. We want our kids to be safe. We want our teachers to be safe. And I think we can work together to make that happen. I think it's also important to remember that there are effective and proven ways to accomplish the goal of school safety, ways that don't divide the community, ways that don't add risk, and ways that don't put our school in financial jeopardy. So we just started out simply by researching school safety. We wanted to look at, is arming teachers effective for making schools safe? And it was only after we found zero supporting information that stated that we did start to ask the questions, and we did start to get answers. And yes, we did even challenge people in positions of power. But I want to say it's not because we're vindictive or malicious. It's because our goal is your goal. It's because we love our kids, our community, our schools, our teachers, that we want to do those things that are going to make schools safer. If we are led to believe that arming teachers is the only way to make schools safe, I can see how you would be frustrated with us or feel that what we are doing is unproductive. But I can tell you, after months of reading and researching, I assure you that there are plenty of other ways, attainable ways to make our schools safe without exposure to unnecessary risk. For example, if you have 10 options to make your school safe, and you look at the first one and it has a lot of risk, maybe potential financial loss, why wouldn't you look at the other 9 ways to make your school safe before going with that first one? So I could list several measures, but I won't do that tonight, but I'm happy to share them if you'd like. One thing I want to mention is a threat assessment team that both the FBI and Secret Service offers resources for. So a threat assessment team helps to prevent an attack from happening in the first place, rather than when someone comes to the door. It can help identify that. The second is something we already have in place. We have an SRO whose entire job is to make our schools safe, and I appreciate that. I would love to hear what he might have to say about how we can make our schools safe. The final option that we've not heard about, but I think might be an option, would be hiring an independent security staff. So suggestions I've heard are like retired military or a true badged reserve officer that EMC is okay with. So if you're spending $50,000 on arming teachers, what if you take that $50,000, add some more from the Healthy General Fund and make a package for a security person, someone that's trained, equipped, and can be dedicated to doing that. We're blessed with a community. We have a variety of expertise and professions. And I am positive that you would find people that would want to help develop safety initiatives. There's nothing to gain by working in a vacuum or only talking to people that you already agree with. But there's a lot to gain by talking to people from different backgrounds. Sorry?
I said that's true.
Oh, cool. So we don't have to be divided, we don't have to add unnecessary risk, and we don't have to put our school in a financial predicament. We can be united in our goal of having safe teachers, safe kids, safe schools. If we can manage to put pride and any ill will aside, I think that uniting our efforts and working together, we can really accomplish that goal. Thank you.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Merle? Is there a Merle Pruitt?
Yeah,
Hi.
I was on the board. I know what you're doing. I did it years ago. I have a question. Do you have anybody that will give you insurance? Because I don't think there's going to be many insurance companies that are too excited to get involved in that. And I think you better look at that closely. Because
It's on the agenda, and this is the list.
It is on the agenda.
This is a back and forth with the board. We do have insurance on the agenda for tonight. So we will have some information and discussion tonight about that. The welcome visitors section is usually about an item that's not already on the agenda.
well, it's going to have to be on the agenda.
Yeah.
It is.
It is.
It is.
It is.
Okay.
Yep.
So
And
we
I
discuss
think
later.
that'll be a big problem. The people that have been doing it have 95% of the schools in Iowa. And there isn't some little insurance company that's going to come and take a chance at $50 million they're not going to do it. I work for insurance companies. And those people that are insuring the school right now are pros. They really know what they're doing. And the people at the state level in Iowa, I've been to several state meetings on school boards. I've been to 3 national meetings on school boards. And I don't think this is going to be easy at all to do that. That's all I have to say, unless you have a question, but be careful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Megan, Julius.
I have already requested that my children not be in a classroom or environment where staff other than law enforcement are armed, and I've not received an answer as to if or how that'll be accommodated. I'd also like to know if bus drivers will be allowed to carry. I feel like it's time for some of these answers to be communicated with parents. We need to be able to make difficult choice regarding enrollment by the start of the year. It's no secret that I, along with many others, don't agree with this policy or the way it's been carried out thus far. It seems the more questions that are asked, the less answers that are given. I worry that because of the animosity that's developed along with lack of transparency surrounding this policy from the beginning, that there will not be an appropriate level of communication between the district and parents when it comes to matters surrounding this. I understand the need for security and safety reasons. There are things that must remain confidential. I respect that. I do have to argue, though, that I believe it falls under my parental rights to be able to send my children to public school of the district I reside in and feel confident they'll be safe. Students have about the same risk of being killed in an active shooter situation as being killed by lightning or an earthquake. Also, guns are the leading cause of death among American children. That's not because of school shootings. I want you to pause and think about what the real danger is here. Will there be transparency if a mishandling or an accident takes place? How will it be communicated with parents? Will a lockdown be called? Has a lockdown drill taken place yet? When was the last time one of these drills occurred? We've seen how easy it is for staff to leave their cell phone in the bathroom, their coffee cup on the secretary's counter, their laptop in another classroom, the maintenance keys go missing. That's not a criticism of anyone. This is a statement about how we're all human and accidents are inevitable. There's a real risk that one of these guns will be accidentally left somewhere, end up in the wrong place or potentially the wrong hands. Is there an actual plan or policy in place for this? Thanks for allowing me time to speak. I want to say that even though I disagree with you right now on this, I do respect all of you and your time and dedication to our school.
Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Okay, Sophia?
Sophia's not here and asked if I could read what she had written. Is that possible?
I don't think she
could speak.
could speak as she was physically here. So this is Christina.
Yeah,
And
Okay,
she's
well, Christina can read her statement.
okay. So Christina could
And
do
she
hers
gets
and
her-
Sophia's, but she can't.
She gets 4 minutes.
Okay, so you, Christina, you have 4 minutes, and if you want to put both into that time, you can.
do you mean my questions regarding, or my comments regarding insurance, or just Sophia's stuff?
You can do both
Oh.
in 4 minutes.
I saw your.
You don't
Is she on the
get,
agenda?
you don't get to take her time and then add your time.
Yes.
If you
But
want
she
to
can still
speak.
speak on the agenda item, correct?
I-
Like added time later on.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I personally only signed up for an agenda item.
Okay.
And Sophia wasn't able to make it, but had sent me hers.
Okay, so we could. Would you want to provide that to us, and we could have Joyce make copies for the whole board?
I actually just have it saved in a notes portion on my phone. I could have her send it in.
Yeah, if you could, copy and paste it in an email to all of us or something too, Christina.
Yeah. Sure can.
Be a couple
Then I
couple
will
clicks
make
might be a little easier. Okay. Sorry, I didn't see that. Okay. And then we have Connie. I didn't see. Oh, there she is.
Thank you again for the opportunity to speak. I'm going to follow up a little bit on the vein that Megan ended up with. A report from the Gifford Law Center has compiled a list of nearly 100 reported incidents of mishandled guns in schools in the last 5 years. We have forwarded this document to you in the past, but I'd like to read some incidents to you in case you haven't read the document yet. March 6th, 2020, Chicago, Illinois. A school guardian left his gun in the school bathroom where it was discovered by 3 young students. No shots were fired. December 15th, 2019, Texarkana, Texas. A school district employee's firearm fell out of his holster onto a school bus seat, later found by a student. No shots were fired. October 23rd, 2019, Whitney, Texas. A teacher left her gun unattended in a teacher workroom. The teacher served as a school guardian. It was later found. No shots were fired. September 17th, 2019, in Windsor, Georgia. A student found a gun and bullets in an unattended purse on the bus. It belonged to the school bus driver employed by the school. August 28th, 2019, Whitney, Texas. The vice principal left her gun unattended in a restroom. She served as a school guardian and was authorized to have a gun on campus. No shots were fired. March 19th, Sparta, Ohio. The district transportation director left her gun in a small unlocked plastic case near her desk and went to the restroom. She was trained as part of the district's concealed carry program. 2 first graders left alone in her office found the gun. No shots fired. In Babylon, New York, January 8th, 2019, the school resource officer, who was a retired policeman, left his holstered weapon on a counter in the bathroom. No shots were fired. 2018, October 23rd, Largo, Florida. A substitute teacher was helping children do cartwheels when the gun fell out of his waistband. No shots fired. And most recently, February 22nd, 2023, in Rising Star School in Texas, a superintendent resigned after he left his gun in an elementary school bathroom. This was widely reported by the media. We're all human. No one's perfect. We have a lot on our minds. Our days are busy. Teachers are especially busy teaching and taking care of their students. The huge responsibility of being armed in a classroom full of students would be a constant distraction to their job of teaching. This is not the best answer, I feel, in making our schools safer. Thank you again.
Thank you, Connie. Thank you, Connie. And that's all I have signed up. Okay, we're gonna move on to consent agenda. Or do you want to take a minute, look it over, let me know if you have any questions?
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, I have a motion by Brown.
I'll second.
And a second by Anderson. Any discussion? I have something. After last month's meeting, there was, during the public comment, afterwards, Steve Avery helped develop a statement that he would like me to read during this time. Technology Associates conducted a search for documents per Rigert's request. Rigert was reluctant about paying the required fees to have Superintendent Dr. Lingenfelter to review the documents to remove confidential information. Therefore, the district or taxpayers paid legal counsel Steve Avery $5,025 to review the records that Rigert requested in order to remove confidential material. Avery met with Rigert prior to handing over the records that she requested. To adhere to the timeline associated with the records request, the compiling of records, and then reviewing of said records for confidentiality, Avery made a verbal disclaimer and asked Rigert to ignore and or shred anything confidential that may have been missed during the review process. Although Rigert returned the confidential records, she made a statement publicly recorded on KCHE and reported in the Chronicle Times about the review of the records. The board and administration were not involved with reviewing the records that Rigert was well aware of that fact. As representatives of the school and legal counsel, we take great offense at being labeled inept by Rigert. The accusation made by Rigert was not only inaccurate but also defamatory and slanderous. Per board policy 213, defamatory comments may be subject to legal action.
And does that include what
So
he's
that
saying
is
right there?
Avery recommended reading it during this time before we approve the minutes.
Honestly, I can't believe you guys are continuing to be this way. It is extremely disappointing, and I honestly, I can't even stay.
Right.
Good luck.
I have a motion by.
He failed to know
I wanna-
that the lowest
This
paid
is our
employee
board meeting.
could review those records.
I want to make, before we approve the consent agenda, I want to thank Dr. Lingenfelter for her service. And we're very sad to see you leave under the circumstances. Totally appreciate all you have done for this district. And I just wanted to take this time to thank you and wish your family the very best.
Thank you, all of you, and you, for the support and the prayers through this really challenging time in our life. Prayers for Andrew, prayers for me, prayers for my family. And it is my intent to reciprocate and support this team for as long as they want or need my support. As you know, most of you know, this was not the retirement plan. The retirement plan was 2025, but it is the right time for my family. And I have every confidence in this leadership team and teachers and staff and directors. We've got a great team here in Cherokee, and I am confident that we will continue to grow as a district. I am confident in that, and Cherokee will always have a special place in my heart and my prayers.
Sorry your retirement plan didn't get to go as you
I know,
had
and I'm
intended.
so sorry, I'm so messy.
Don't
Andrew
worry
is
about that.
Just taken back to the
One-
hospital again. So, yeah, 1:30 in the morning, and I was already here. So that's hard on mamas.
Yep.
He's a tough kid, and he's battling. and his military service, the recognition of that was spectacular. So he is now a lieutenant colonel in the United States Air Force.
Thank you for his service.
Well, and thank you for allowing me to serve the district, and the past 8 years, it's been my pleasure.
Thank you for everything. And we will, Kim is a part of several boards and stuff within the community, so we are working on some sort of retirement gathering or honoring her and thanking her for her service, but that date will be TBD.
Right.
So,
as I need to get back to Ohio, he's in the hospital again. So,
So,
thank you.
okay, I have a motion by Brown and a second by Anderson to approve consent agenda. Right? Any other discussion? Nope. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Communications and reports.
All right, I'm assuming it's me.
Yeah, you're up. You've done this before.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't have a whole lot to add to my report on there, other than it's been a busy start to the summer, but decided summer school has gotten kicked off and have a few things on there from the tail end of the school year. And like always, wanted to thank our board, stakeholders, listeners for everyone's help and support in making it a successful school year. So it takes a village to do everything, and couldn't do it without everyone's support. So, any questions for me?
I want to compliment you on those fast scores down below.
Yes.
Yes, they did. They did very well. We were just like less than a percentage point shy of meeting our goal that we had set for them. But our data teacher leader and Mrs. Birch and I met, and we've got a few different ideas for next year on setting some goals for them academically. But yeah, kids did a very nice job staying focused all the way through the school year as much as we could.
So I'm assuming ours is the lowest bar.
Yes,
The one
sorry,
that's-
yes.
Yeah, that
Ours
exceeds
is-
out beyond the
yes.
other two bars.
Ours is
Color grade.
Yes. Okay.
yes. Ours is the bottom one.
Okay.
My apologies for that.
For
They
people
never
that
print
can't
in
see-
black and white very well.
That's okay.
The elementary school is well above the Northwest AA and the Iowa.
Well on math.
Yes.
Yep.
So for the spring
Good.
fast scores for the elementary school. So good work, elementary school.
And spring's typically the hardest one.
Yes, it's usually, especially the timing of the year and everything, it gets tough in the springtime, But nope, teachers did a great job of motivating the kids, and the kids did a nice job of showing us what they know. So we're very proud.
Summer school going okay?
Yep, going well. Yep, going well.
And what positions were you hiring for?
I'm still in search for a special education teacher.
Okay.
But if you remember right, that would be an additional one that we wanted to add a new position for next
Okay.
year. So we have, with Rebecca Mosbach moving on to the AA, we have that position filled. This would be for a additional.
An additional.
So, yep.
Okay.
To help better me.
Yep. So we're still searching.
Okay.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions for Mr. C? No? Good.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you
Mr.
guys.
C.
Yeah, you bet.
Mr. Malowski, what's going on at CMS?
I just had a couple things to talk about from the board report. Ava Kramer was our May Healthy Hero. We didn't have that decided before the board meeting in May, so I wanted to make sure that she was mentioned. And then summer school is going well. We have Peyton Cohn. She comes up and helps almost every day, so it's been nice. And then our building looks great. I mean, the custodial projects are in full swing. I was going to talk to Brian today, and then I ran into the door that said fresh wax. I was like, nope. So thankfully they're leaving things open other ways, so it's not like we're just trapped and have to talk to each other through windows or something like that. So, and that would be all I have, unless anybody.
And the
else has
lighting
questions.
hasn't started yet, or has started?
The boxes are there.
Okay.
It has not started yet.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions for Mr. Malowski at the middle school? Thank you, Mr. Malowski. Mr. Reichard?
Okay, not much to add to my report. A couple highlights, though. Mrs. Barkley and I had the opportunity to go to a conference in Nashville that was sponsored. The us going was sponsored by Diane Young out at Analytical Labs, and her intent and purpose for sending us to a business conference was to continue to help us learn how to bridge gaps between school and small businesses in this situation, to continue the future ready work that we're doing here at the high school, and talk about a phenomenal experience. I had many conversations with different small business owners from around the United States and got to pick their brain as to what their schools do or how they, utilize high school kids. And, to my surprise, not a whole lot out there. So I don't want to say we're kind of ahead of the curve, but we're moving in the right direction. So feel really good with the assistance that she's given us as we continue to proceed with our future ready work, and look forward to continuing to work with her on that. And then also, as you probably walked in the building, you saw there's a lot of stuff going on here. We're missing some windows, some doors, but science classrooms are progressing. We will hopefully be in those here within the next month or so.
You said that hesitant.
Yeah, I don't like the pause.
But it's progressing, so that's we'll be in the before school starts. Most definitely. So, but those are coming along. So, and that's all I have. Any questions for me?
I think so. Thank you, Mr. Reichert.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, just take a little time here to review the report. We've got an update from technology there. We've got an update from Sergeant Gannon. I think his highlight was the Iowa State School Resource Officer Conference. He talks about the training that he had there. IT department is looking for a technology assistant. Rachel Doden has all of the office visits totaled there by building and how many students were returned to class to learn. We've got bread and milk beds from Kara Jacobson in your packet, and summer lunch is in full swing. Rachel Mallory has a note there about inspection, and it went well. And then Mike has some notes actually in the packet with regards to the summer projects and the timelines for completion of those projects, those that he's aware of. Mike and Jamie. Any questions for me?
No?
No.
All right, thank you, Kim. All right. Okay, we're going to move on to policy. We have clerical changes and edits as recommended by IASB Policy Manual Review by Siobhan Schneider, who's IASB Policy and Legal Services Director, received on December 22nd, 2021. We need to affirm 507.4 student illness or injury at school, 507.5 emergency plans and drills, 507.6 student insurance, 507.7 custody and parental rights, 507.8 student special health services, 507.9 wellness policy, 508.1 class or student group gifts, 508.2 open night.
I make a motion that we approve the clerical changes proposed.
Okay, motion by Anderson,
Second, I second.
second by Patty Brown. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Policies are affirmed. New business, item A, discussion of information concerning TPRA recipients.
Yes, you've got a letter on your table from Jaylee Happy, and she is a student in the TPRA program working towards competencies to become a paraprofessional, and her hope is to major in education. So if anyone would like to read part of that for the KCHE listening area, that would be fantastic. Otherwise, I can certainly do that. Any volunteers?
I'll read it. You mean
Yay.
the whole thing? You read the whole thing?
Well, it's just always nice to have somebody else's voice on KCHE.
Hello, everyone. I am sorry that I am unable to be there with you tonight, but I still wanted to share with you my experience through the Paraeducator program. I began in the fall of 2022 by taking 2 online courses to get me started on this educational journey. These courses consisted of Exceptional Learner and Introduction to Education. Both classes were very beneficial to my experiences and would help me in the future dealing with different types of students. Due to my schedule, I was only able to work base in the ag room for 2 periods each day. This allowed me to observe and connect with students while deciding what things I would implement into my future teaching and what things I would not. Once the fall semester ended and the spring semester began, I started taking another online course called Technology in the Classroom. This was also a very good class to take as it opened my eyes to different types of schools and different types of technologies that would work best in these different schools. I was able to pick up 2 more periods of work base this semester, 2 being in Mrs. Johnson's room, where I worked with Science 9 students, and the other being in Miss Olson's, where I helped with special education students. I still, of course, had 1 period with Mrs. Wiedauer, where I worked with Introduction to Agriculture students. I took a special interest in the special education field and even considered double majoring in special education and agricultural education this fall. Mrs. Johnson opened my eyes to so many different approaches and the ways of teaching that I had no idea about before this opportunity. She showed me that teaching is so much more than actually teaching. I learned organizational skills, teaching methods, and most importantly, how to make connections with each and every one of your students. There are so many things that I learned from Mrs. Johnson that I will be implementing into my future classroom. This program was so beneficial to my learning because it gave me real-world experience in the teaching field. Everything I learned will help me so much in college and in teaching because chances are I have already learned how to deal with these situations. You can learn all of this knowledge from a textbook, but there is no better way to learn skills other than by doing them. Another benefit of the paraeducator program was that I was able to earn money while I was learning how to become a good teacher. This money will benefit me in my future education to help pay for college. Everything I learned from this experience will help me in my future, whether that is good, bad, or money. I have many things that I will take with me and some things that I do not see working for me in the future while the money will help me pay for college. Overall, I am extremely grateful to have been part of this experience and I would highly recommend it to anyone considering. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you for reading that. So Jaylee is one of our students in the TPRA working to become a paraprofessional, but we also have Sherry Blaze here, who is a para in our district, and she is working to become a teacher. So Sherry, did you have anything that you would like to add?
I just got done with my first full year at BB, and I'm taking summer classes right now. My classes change every 8 weeks. I'm doing online plus Zoom classes also. So I still am getting the experience of being in the classroom at BB. So I will be having my elementary education with my special ed endorsement, and I'll be done with classes in 2024. It's a good program.
It is a great program, and what is really awesome, and I think my admin team could probably speak to this, or any teacher in the audience, is that you're getting on-the-job training
As I'm doing everything.
and you're getting a paycheck as you're navigating through the coursework. So it's really an awesome grant opportunity. And if there's anyone up there in the KCHE listening area that wants to be a para for us, you get your school paid for and you get a paycheck to get a degree to teach. We would welcome you to the home of the Braves.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sherry.
Sherry. Thank you.
And thank you for being kind of this new program and being part of it. I'm sure it's not easy, being a parent and teaching and being a student.
Yeah.
So,
It's a lot of juggling.
yes, thank you.
Yep.
Yes. The guinea pigs.
Yes.
The first. So thank you. And thank you to Jaylee, who wasn't able to be here today. And I'm really excited to see
What year
all
in
comes
school
from
is she?
this. She's not.
She graduated.
She graduated. Okay.
All right. Any other questions or comments, board, for the TPRA? No? Okay. Item B, discussion of action concerning administrative interim positions.
Explain. Okay, so this is basically, I'm going to make a motion that we, due to Kim's early retirement, kind of untimely, to go out and hire a new superintendent. We've got a great high school principal that has his superintendent credentials. I'd like to make a motion that we promote Tom as an interim superintendent at a pay of $140,000. We promote Tom to interim superintendent, and then we promote Matt from middle school principal up to high school principal for an interim at $115,000. I'd like to make that motion for those interim internal transfers.
And to clarify, under that motion, only Mr. Malowski would technically be an internal transfer.
Oh, okay.
Just so
Because
it's all
principal
right.
to principal.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
thank you.
So Tom would be in like one step.
Okay. And do we need to make those in two separate motions, or can I make them together? You can make them together.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify that for
Okay.
the motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, so I have a motion by Anderson and a second by Mullins to appoint Mr. Reihert as interim superintendent and Mr. Malowski, internal transfer from CMS to high school. Right, any other discussion? I guess before we would go to vote for that, thank you, everyone. My opinion on this is I've always really admired how well the admin team all work together, and I am excited that we can have some continuity with that. And I know a lot of people these last few months have really stepped up, and thank you for everyone.
A necessity, so thank you for being so team-oriented, because
Yes.
it was a necessity
Yeah.
in my absence due to Andrew's care. So,
And we're thankful that Kim was still available and able to complete her duties before her retirement. So
from afar.
All right. So, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, both of you.
Thank you. Okay, item C, discussion of action concerning insurance coverage for the district.
Thank you for being here, Bruce.
Where do you want me to stand?
Wherever you want to. I think the microphone can hear you wherever you are.
So I'm Bruce Nagel with Central Insure, and we at Central Insure and my team have been working diligently to secure coverage for the school district effective July 1st of this year. So we have secured quotes for the following coverages: general liability, the linebacker, which is public officials and employment practices liability, commercial umbrella, cyber liability, crime, business auto, and workers' compensation. With the liability portion of it, currently it will exclude staff members carrying other than the SRO. We do have market interest in this exposure, but without an actual effective date to start and written process for implementation, we're unable to receive a quote. But we do have market interest for carrying, staff members carrying. Okay? We're still working on quotes for commercial property and the excess liability. Excess liability being umbrella and other higher limit umbrellas. We want to be, there are multiple things that EMC did because of what they do for schools. It is their wheelhouse that has certain coverages that as we go from a group package with EMC, we're in an a la carte menu. So as we are seeking to find coverage for our insured exposures, that's what we do as far as an insurance agency goes. Just to be upfront about what EMC, to talk about last month, EMC will provide a quote if the weapons policy is omitted to prior wording. So just to be clear on that, okay? With that being said, we are continuing to work hard for the district. I can't thank Joyce enough for her work that she does with it, answering and questions with myself and my team. And I also want to thank Kim from a personal relationship and from a business relationship. We really appreciate it.
Okay, I had Christina signed up for discussion of insurance. How long do we do that when it's an actual agenda?
You can do 5 minutes.
All right,
Policy says.
Okay, Christina.
Once again, I stand before you asking the same questions I've asked since October regarding insurance and how it will protect staff. As we've just heard, it obviously won't. You've called the staff who choose to carry heroes, yet have shown little to no regard for how they will be protected from the implementation of this policy. You haven't discussed in any public board meetings that your change to the weapons policy will effectively leave staff and teachers who are carrying weapons, people you are calling heroes, unprotected from litigation and repercussions related to any weapons incident, including but not limited to leaving a weapon unattended or an accidental misfire. Again, because teachers and staff, while heroes, are still human. You're now talking about a new insurance policy or a la carte policy and failing to mention how the increase in premiums will be paid for. The number of people in the community who have reached out to our little group have stated that they weren't aware that the general fund comes from taxpayers. So having clarification on that for the entire community would be extremely helpful. You failed to clarify or clearly inform the public that because the general fund is funded by taxpayers and that if, likely when, that fund runs out by outrageous premiums or possible litigation, it'll be up to our community to foot the bill. The way that is done is by increasing property taxes for homeowners. If I'm wrong, please correct me or let Steve Avery, that'd be fine too. For the record, I want to ask once again, in light of all you're finding out, to just suspend the policy, just until you have more information, have done the actual legwork on everything.
Thank you, Christina. Okay, so we're going to move on to,
I actually have some questions on insurance.
I don't have you.
It says questions on agenda items or public statement, and I said yes.
Oh, it says agenda item / welcome, and you wrote yes.
Yes,
So
because I have questions for both.
just end up with that? Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have 11 days for insurance, and we don't have a quote for a premium because of the weapons policy? Right? Is that what I heard?
Bruce?
There's
That's not
no
true,
quote
correct?
because of the weapons policy?
We do not have a quote that covers everything yet, correct?
Okay, but you have 11 days. What happens on July 1st when you don't have insurance?
Okay.
Like, seriously, what happens? I'm asking you, what happens?
It's not Q&A.
I thought on the agenda it was for discussion.
I think we can discuss
talk,
and you
we'll
could
listen.
talk and we can have discussion amongst ourselves. Last time,
So our community is at an enormous risk. You have $48 million in assets. Because of one policy now, you have it all in jeopardy. You don't have auto insurance. Rachel is in charge of all of the buses and all of the drivers, like the ball games. And you can't tell us anything with 11 days left.
to clarify, Bruce, you said that you do have
Insurance.
Interest, yeah.
Yes.
with auto, right? Okay, thought I heard that right.
But we don't know how much it's going to cost, and it's all paid by taxpayers.
School is all paid by taxpayers, correct?
Yes, but specifically property taxes for insurance.
We can't
Well,
raise
that's how-
property taxes.
Yeah, we don't raise property taxes here, so.
It comes from the management levy, which is from property taxes. So if you have to raise the management levy to pay premiums,
It's not really how it works.
I would love if you would tell me how it works.
Budget's already published.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, for next year, the budget has already been published.
Okay, and if the premiums were to exceed what you have budgeted,
We will have plenty of money in our management fund to cover those.
what is the balance of the management fund?
995,000.
Okay, so you can afford almost $1 million in premiums. And what is the,
195 isn't almost $1 million.
didn't you say 995?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you said 595.
900.
Okay, is there a cap on the liability payout for these? What is the cap on the liability payout?
Do you know it, Bruce?
We will.
Like the linebacker, if there were to be an accident, 100% of these accidents go to litigation. The average payout is $3 million. So what is the cap?
Okay, I don't think this is a Q&A.
This is, I'm not.
Yeah,
this
is-
provide-
yeah.
provide-
And until,
So you do not have information for the public then, for insurance that expires in 11 days?
Bruce presented information, and we will provide more information at a later date.
Okay, so if it expires at the end of the month, will there be another meeting with that insurance information, or how will that be disseminated?
This stuff has to be done with board approval, so
We have to have
this is listed as a,
We're going
We
to
have,
take
they will have insurance.
yeah,
We
okay.
understand that, but we're questioning how, because he's saying that we don't have full coverage that we had under EMC. So if
As
we
of
don't
right-
Not quite exactly what he said, but Bruce, you want to clarify that, please?
As I said.
Yes.
I didn't say the word yet. The insurance policy renews July 1st. Yes, we do have 11 days. Yes, we are working diligently to ensure the school as it wants to be insured.
But not with the insurance.
I'm so confused. Not with the insurance, no. Not unless the board changes their omitting of the policy.
We will have
As a
insurance.
client, I'm working for my client who wants to move in a different direction.
Okay, so EMC is out of the picture.
Unless they were.
Okay, sorry.
Unless we change it.
Okay.
Okay, yep, and we're at over the 4 minutes for Jocelyn, so, okay, thank you, Jocelyn. Board, any other questions about insurance or anything? And then we will be pending. I thought it was, it's down for discussion of action. But I think.
Oh, because we don't have any.
Discussion of information.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, so we will have action on it at a later date. Yep. Okay, and all right, we're gonna move on to item D, discussion of action concerning renewal of SU equipment breakdown insurance.
That is in your packet.
So they kind of base, kind of base a premium on how many students that we do have.
On how many devices and items are
Yeah.
fixed.
Okay.
This is that insurance that you prepay out of the management fund, and then it fixes Chromebooks or anything else that plugs into a wall. Yep.
I make a motion to, this would be for another 3 years, that's what our last one. This premium will not change for 3 years.
Yeah.
So I would make a motion that we approve the renewal of SU equipment breakdown insurance.
Okay, motion by Patty Brown,
I'll second it.
second by Freed. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Item E, discussion of action concerning dairy and bread bids for the 23-24 school year.
Yes, they are in your packet, and Kara has a recommendation. Also in your packet, Eastside Dairy, which is also known as Prairie Farms, and Panagold.
Well, I make a motion that we approve Prairie Farms and Panagold.
I
For the
second.
bread and milk bids.
Okay, so
I second it.
okay, we have motion by Anderson, a second by Patty Brown. All in favor? Or any
Aye.
discussion? Sorry, first. I guess thank you to Kara, a shout out to
Yes.
Kara for collecting those, and I feel like she always does a good job of turning the. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Item F, discussion of action concerning fuel bids for 23-24 school year.
Yes, and Rachel Mallory collected those fuel bids. They are in your board packet, and she also has a recommendation to go with Cherokee Country Store, Kimmy's.
That's been going okay?
We went with them last year, and
Yeah.
that was great.
Well, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Pam, what?
We went with them last year, and that, everything worked out great.
Yeah, it works very well. That's the only place we really can use for buses that I can get them in and out. I mean, Ivy only has one diesel pump, and they have no red, which we get to run red, so there's no red at Hy-Vee. So it would be, even with a discount, it would be more expensive at Hy-Vee. And then Kimmy's gives us a better discount on the regular fuel also. And then I try really hard to use the Pride phone.
Yep.
When I get fuel. There's times I can't, if I'm in a hurry and there's like sometimes people are sitting there waiting.
Yes.
So then I don't. But I would say 95% of the time I use the Pride phone. So that is my recommendation, yes, is to continue to have both at Jimmy's.
Okay, I make a motion. Thank you, Rachel, that we go with Cherokee Country Store for our fuel.
Okay, motion by Anderson,
Second.
second by Freed. Thank you, Rachel. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Kimmy's it is. Item G, discussion of action concerning donations for special classroom projects and supplies from the Cherokee Education Foundation.
Another great event, very well
Yeah.
attended, and a record-setting year. So you see that amount below, but we need to recognize the Cherokee Education Foundation and their board members and all of those that support
Yes.
that foundation event.
So for the record, publicly, thank you
Thank
to
you.
the
Yes.
Education
Thank
Foundation
you.
and everybody who supports that event. All right, I make a
Yes.
motion that we accept, is that what we got to do?
Approve the donations.
Approve the donations, okay, for the special projects, field trips, and supplies.
Okay, I have a motion by Anderson.
I second.
Okay. Second by Brown. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, Education Foundation. And item H is discussion of action concerning a resolution of acknowledgement for the Cherokee Education Foundation and foundation donors and supporters for providing, excuse me, $60,500 for special classroom projects, field trips, and supplies.
Yes.
So we
Oh, is that?
off a little bit, but it's
Oh,
okay.
that's just the resolution.
Yep, they were both
Okay.
action items. So
Oh, they were both action
Yep.
items?
Yes.
So do I need to redo my motion?
Yeah.
No, just
Okay.
make a new one.
yeah, new one.
Oh,
Just to approve the resolution.
I'll make the motion.
There you
to
go.
approve
okay.
Ray coming in clutch. Okay. And a motion by Mullins,
I'll second.
second by Anderson. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And item I, discussion of action concerning legislative priorities for the 23-24 school year.
Yes, so those resolutions are in your board packet, and it is tough to argue with any of those resolutions. They are all solid. So my recommendation would be to focus in on those things that we've often talked about as a board, and those things are school safety as a priority, supplemental state aid. I think that's a priority every year, that we want that to be fair. We are one of the districts that's locked at the 2.5% for at-risk dropout prevention funding, so to make that a priority, we've talked about that on various occasions. We've also talked about bond issues on several occasions. The language here isn't exactly what we would like it to look like, because you are limited in your bonding capacity by your assessed valuation. And at 5% of our assessed valuation, our maximum bonding capacity is only $26 million. And the ballpark figure pre-COVID for building a high school to serve 350 students was a lot higher than that. That was closer to $45 million pre-COVID. So I can imagine it's much higher now. So we wanted that percentage eliminated, but that's not exactly the language, but I think it's a priority. And then also looking at that private school choice. We talked a lot about the vouchers, and I guess we should not call them vouchers, education savings accounts. We talked about how damaging we felt that was to public school. So those would be my recommendations, but again, all of these resolutions are solid. So if you want to change those at all.
I feel like one in Cherokee that would be important is possibly preschool, and maybe Brian can pitch in too. So this would be additional support for ages 2 to 5. Right now, like I have kids with summer birthdays, so if they don't get into TK, they would have to go to kindergarten, be the youngest of the class, or we can do something else for preschool, hold them, and then go private. Anyways, if we had better support at the state level, I feel like Cherokee's got a daycare shortage. Having this extra support, early intervention is so important. So the social skills that they learn in preschool help their whole life. So that is one to me, but I have 3 preschoolers right now, so maybe I'm biased towards that.
It's a solid resolution. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But then, so is student
But it's not,
achievement,
yeah, I know, they all are.
English
But in
learning.
Cherokee,
I know, how do you pick and choose?
but in
Yeah.
Cherokee, with the daycare shortage, I feel like extra services would be something that could help
absolutely.
the whole community, in my opinion. Brian, I don't know if you have
I mean, it's with anything, earlier intervention is always the best. I mean, we see
Right.
that with our 3-year-old program has grown to be about at full capacity the last year and looking like that this year. So we're getting them in earlier, but would always love to have them in as early as we can to help identify anything we can aid with, and we have the supports in-house to do that. So yeah, I mean, coming from my world, that's always going to be a big thing. I mean,
Well, and I
yeah, we've had many
the same
conversations
world,
about
right?
that.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yep.
kids age.
And mental health and special
I
education.
know.
Yeah.
There's just,
Yeah.
they're all good.
They're all important. I
They
just
are
thought
all
this
good.
preschool one for our particular town
Sure.
could be one that was a little.
Yep, and that motion can look how everybody would like it to look,
But yeah, definitely.
because they are all solid resolutions.
So are we picking our priorities right now?
Right, and then we report them to Iowa Association of School Boards, and then they aggregate the data and come up with their top 10. So they're looking to you for input.
I think private school choice should be at the top of the list.
Same. Then how
From
we
what I
follow-
read in the paper, they're spending way more than what they expected to spend on it already.
It's not going to be successful.
Which will be less money in supplemental state
That's
aid, which
correct.
is still a priority too.
Yeah, so maybe I would agree that that's something maybe we could consider putting
Yeah.
1 and 2 as SSA and
Yes.
yeah.
I would agree with that one.
So
Does anyone want to make a
Yeah, is there a
motion as to
motion?
how they would like me to report that?
I know in years past, haven't we said they're all important?
Yeah, here's our top
Yes.
4, our top 5,
Yeah.
or whatever. So
And not really ordered them, just
No.
the top.
Yes.
Just
I think
our
that would
top.
be a lot easier. Student achievement, I mean, because that's everyone. I mean,
It
that's
is.
just across,
It
you're not leaving anyone out.
I think this number 4 with English learners is going to start affecting us more and more.
I would not disagree.
Yep. Our English learners, can they be considered?
And mental health.
Always. Yeah, they're all solid.
I think they're all solid.
They are.
So,
Yeah,
okay,
solid.
but
there are 22 of them.
the student achievement would cover English learners. It would cover, in a sense, the at-risk dropout. It would cover special education.
At-risk dropout is different in that that's a funding mechanism.
Okay, so that's just not
some
a
of our
subset of
neighbors are
students.
at 5% for dropout at risk, and we are locked at 2.5%. So that is something, we want that removed, that percentage cap removed. So that's what that one is about.
Do we just want each board member to pick one?
We could do that. However you want that to look.
Well, let's all pick one and then see what we think.
I'm going to say 5.
Safety. School safety, okay.
Okay, yep, I had that one circled too.
Everyone agree, disagree with that?
I'd say 7.
Mental health.
I'll say 21. Private school
Okay,
choice.
you guys are going fast. Okay, we got 5, 7, 21. I think I had 20.
I'm going to say student achievement, number 1.
Okay. There's 4 of them.
Okay, 5, 7, 21. What'd you say?
1, student achievement.
1, student
One
achievement.
student achievement. Oh, and then
Safety. Mental health.
And school choice.
oh, but no one said SSA.
Oh, no one said SSA. And no one said.
Because-
preschool.
and I had
preschool.
I know. I want preschool, and I also want 19 local accountability and decision making.
Do we have to limit it to 5?
You
Do we
do
have
not.
6? Okay.
You do not. That's an ambiguous number.
Okay.
We also want it.
Okay, I'll do SSA. I'll do SSA, but can we give a honorable mention to preschool.
Yes. We can add it. You can have 6.
You can have 6.
Yeah.
Can you be a preschooler?
Yeah.
Okay, so 13 was SSA. And then preschool is number 2. But preschool's higher up on their numbers than what it has been in previous years presented to us. So maybe
I was part of this.
coming up with it.
Yeah, that was at the meeting in Sprint.
19, so good.
Or Paul. Yeah.
Okay, so is that, do we have to like state that out as a motion?
Please.
Okay.
All right. I'll make a motion that our top 6 are 1, student achievement, 5, school safety, 7, mental health, SSA, which one was that one?
13, I think.
13.
Yes.
Oh, preschool.
It's 7.
Preschool is?
It's 2. Sorry,
Yep,
can't read my own
2
writing.
preschool initiatives, and 20, what was the one, Patty? 21
21.
prep school choice. Okay.
So we have 5, 7, 21, 1, 13, and 2.
Yeah.
So it's a motion
5,
by
7,
Anderson.
21, 13, 2. There's one more because you had 6.
I have
1,
5, 7, 21, 1, 13, 2.
Oh,
1, 2,
7,
5.
21, 1.
Yes.
13, 2. Got it. I will report those.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a motion by Anderson for it to have those, because this is a, yes, this is an action item, so I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, second by Freed. Second by Anderson, Freed. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Item J, discussion of action concerning certified support staff employee handbooks for the 23-24 school year. First reading was in May, second reading and acceptance in June.
Great. And those were highlighted in green and attached to your email. And there were not a lot of highlights or edits. So just need a motion.
I'll make a motion, accept.
Okay, I have a motion by Freed,
I second.
second by Brown. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Item K, discussion of action concerning activities handbook for the 23-24 school year, second reading.
Yes. And Joyce and Jason and I attended a conference on activities and specifically types of things the board could approve. So Jason was just going to outline some of those items that we learned at that conference for your awareness to see whether or not that is something you would support as a public purpose for some of these funds that our students raise.
Right, so we kind of met earlier, when was that, this winter, and
Several
highlighted
times,
some of
yeah.
highlighted some of these things. In the activities handbook, we kind of went through and talked about, we just did some updates that we thought were further, after we went to this conference, that were, now that we have this new information, that would fit our activities handbook a little bit better. So some of those things we talked about was mostly, and especially one of the biggest things was in fundraising, what that fundraising money can be spent for, how it should be used, how it should be collected. So we made some changes in that were probably highlighted for you there. We made some small changes in the team camps, how they should be paid for, things like that. One of the things that the state still said was that specific money from school fundraisers cannot be paid for individuals to go to team camps. That needs to come more from the boosters. We made some small adjustments to some other things about the numbers of people going down to the state and how many people we're going to take down there, things like that. We also talked about some meals and what we're going to allow for money for individuals to and coaches as well for meals at state events and away events and things like that. One of the other things was not in our activities handbook, but I think we discussed was coaches being able to get a monetary amount to get polos or some type of clothing to look similar, because we wanted our coaches to kind of stand out as that's our coaches over there, and we wanted them to look like a coach. So, anything else we left out of there, Kim?
No, one of the fundraising items that typically in the past wasn't covered was like a team meal.
Yes.
But if the board would think that is a public purpose with their fundraising money, not with general fund dollars or activity fund dollars, but if if that was something the board would see as a good use of their fundraising money, then they could do something like that. And we talked about that being a bonding type of experience, and that they are the ones doing the fundraising. As long as we are clear with what they are fundraising for and list those things, then the public is aware.
So to clarify, we're just going to give some more flexibility to these groups that do their own fundraising of what they can spend on.
Right. And then encourage them to put those fundraising dollars in the district account so it can be managed.
And we kind of talked about the state has opened up some of those areas to let teams and schools spend that money in different ways as well, too.
Right. With board consideration.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Well, thank you three for attending that.
Yeah. It was a good
Giving
conference.
us a good okay, and that is an action item.
Yes.
I move to accept the activities handbook for the 23-24 school year.
I'll second.
Motion by Brown, second by Anderson. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Activities handbook is approved. Discussion of information concerning CES, CMS, and CHS handbooks for the 23-24 school year.
Yeah, they were linked to your cover letter in that email that I sent on June 15th. So Mr. Christensen had the entire handbook in there and just had the highlights. Mr. Malowski kind of summarized his, and Mr. Reichert said we got like one edit. So he's just going to talk to you about what that edit is. So,
Yeah, that's with academic integrity or shaving plagiarism, or whatever. One thing that we saw towards the end of the school year was a little bit more use of AI for students doing their own work. So we'll be adding that into the handbook as well to cover that. What that's going to look like, it's very new, and some of my other colleagues that I've talked to, they haven't really even thought about it either yet. So we're working on that. But it'll go into the academic integrity portion of the handbook. So.
When do we expect to get updated policy primers from ISB after the last legislative session?
we actually have a work session. It's a webinar next week. Next week?
So from my
It's this week.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Thursday.
Wednesday.
Is today the 19th?
Yep.
22? Anyway, that's what's speaking in
So,
my brain.
are some of these
Noon on the 22nd.
handbooks, would they need updated with some of those too? Because I think some of those
There's a discipline portion.
policies would, okay.
So even though we're approving what we got,
Well, this is just
they will need to
discussion
be
of
Yeah, and this is not
information.
approval, this is just our information.
Yep.
Okay.
Month, but yeah, next month. will
But
be.
so there could be some changes from what we see, what we have in our, inboxes right now versus
Today.
what we'll have next month.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Anyone want to provide anything?
Just first reading on that.
Okay. And then we're going to move on to item M, discussion of information concerning summer 23 projects and timelines.
And those are right after your resolutions here. And there are some things that we do not know yet, but we do know that the gym floors will be refinished beginning on June 20th, and they're not going to be available for use until June 30th. Science Suite, we were hoping for a June 20th to move equipment in. We are having a few challenges with that date.
It's tomorrow.
We're having a few challenges. So, like Tom said, and he's got to coach baseball, so
Good luck, Tom.
Good luck, Tom.
Go
And
Braves.
then- Yep, go Braves. And then you can see that there is some work being done with regards to tuck pointing. The grinding should be finished this week with an August 1 finish for the whole building, well, the upper part. Retaining wall and east stairs, that block is delivered, July 1 start date. Okay. No news on the resurfacing yet of the bus barn parking lot. Still working on finishing the interior and exterior doors, replacement of windows. North is finished, and they were just beginning work on the south side, so we did look at the one set of windows in the art room, and they are looking nice. Bus barn building envelope, we've got bids on that, And we are proceeding with that, but we don't have a start date on that or the loading dock, but we did get 2 bids on that as well. And they came in favorable. Painting the STEM room, also favorable, almost finished there. And the lighting project is supposed to begin on June 26th. That is supposed to happen. So summer is always busy with building and grounds projects.
That's a lot going on.
Yes, it is. Any questions for Mike or Jamie? They've put a lot of work into that.
The girls look really good work. Hope everything goes well, and
I think so too.
prevent the best learning environment first.
Yes.
Good. All right. Thank you, Kim. Board committee reports. Does anyone have anything? All right. Well, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, by Anderson.
Second.
Second by Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you for your time, everybody.
Thank you.